friends, so it is June, which means it is now time to do the mid-year book Freakout tag for 2021. I don't think I've ever done this one on my channel, so I'm really excited to talk to you guys about the books that I have read and the books that I still need to read for this year. Disclaimer, it is ridiculously hot in my office, so I can't not have the fan on or else I will be sweating all over your screens. So please excuse any fan noise or anything that you hear. So let's go ahead and just get right in to the questions. The first question, the best book you've read so far in 2021, which, okay, I'm just going to give you a fair warning. This book is going to be all over this tag, okay? So the first one has to be The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This book is just, I could talk about this book for hours. This book is literally this book is everything to me, okay? I love this book with my entire heart and soul. So, best book, hands down. Best book of all, one of my favorite books of all time now. Best sequel you've read so far in 2021. Okay, so I haven't read any official sequels. However, I read any book that Sarah Sutton writes. If she writes a book, I'm going to read it. If she writes, I don't know, if she writes nutritional labels, I will read them. Even if it's a food I won't eat, because I love her and I love her writing and I want to support her in any way I can. And this girl is seriously, she's wicked talented and she does not get enough love, or any real indie authors. You don't see a lot of indie books on these types of tags. So of course I have to bring one up. And this is by far the best sequel that I have read. Again, it's a standalone, but it's part of her Love in Fenton County series. So they're all a bunch of standalones that go together. So I have all of the books that have been released so far. I did read both of these this year. This I really loved. This I think was her first book she ever wrote, but second published. And this is her most recent new release, before the one that she just released 2 weeks ago. So I read this one in January. I would have to say I read both of these this year. I loved both of them. This one more. This one's amazing though. So I brought these both up because I read them both and I loved them both. But if I had to pick, Can't Catch My Breath would be the one. And oh my god, how much do we love a good floppy book, by the way. Anywho, so Can't Catch My Breath is amazing. It's emotional. It's loving. It's just, it's great. It is what high school love, this is the high school love that I wish I would have had in high school. Without the sad parts. Anyways, okay, moving on to number 3, new release you haven't read yet, but want to. So this was really hard because I started grabbing books off the bookshelf and realizing half of these aren't really new releases. So I tried to limit these to all ones that were published in 2021, although one of them was last year, but I don't care. I'm still going to consider it a new release because it's my answers and I'll do what I want. So first one, we have The Push. This is obviously super incredibly hyped up. I've not seen anybody talk about this book that hasn't loved it, and I love the cover. I love thrillers and suspense and all of the things that this book is supposed to be. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. This one, I mean, you can't, it had me at the words Jane Eyre. Okay, when somebody explained that this was kind of I don't know if it's a Jane Eyre retelling or if it's just inspired by Jane Eyre or what exactly Jane Eyre has to do with this book, but I mean, The Wife Upstairs, hello. If you've read Jane Eyre, you know the reference already just by looking at the title. So this is the one that was read last year, but this one is very, very, very high on my to-be-read list. Incredibly high. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. That's the one that I had some trouble with because I don't really follow a lot of new releases, so I had to actually do a little research on what books are coming out this year, and I found 2 that seem like they're right up my alley. The first one is The Heart Principle by Helen Wong. I loved both of her books. I've read The Kiss Quotient and The Bride Test, and I loved both of them, and I thought they were both amazing, so anything she writes, I will read, and I'm loving the color already. Then this one I know nothing about, but this is a complete cover like, this is a cover read for me. I don't know much about this one. I just know the cover looks amazing, and I believe this is a thriller. So, If I Disappear, I love the way that the cover looks, and I'm instantly sold. Don't know anything about it though, so we'll see. Biggest disappointment, which if you guys have watched my most recent video, I will pop it up here. You will get a lot more information on why this is my biggest disappointment, but People Like Her. I just read this one as a buddy read last month, and it was not for me. I gave it 3 stars, and that's just because I feel bad giving it 2.5 or 2. Like, this just did not do it for me. So if you want to know why, and you want to see me rant and rave about, like, rant and go on about why I don't like this book with spoilers, go watch the video I will leave up in the cards. Biggest surprise, that one we got to take it back to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I mean, people said good things about this, but this book literally became the book of my heart. Like, I love this book. Like, it is up there with Jane Eyre for the loves of my bookish life, okay? Like, I love this book with my whole heart. And that was not something I was expecting. I feel the same way about this book that I did after I watched A Star is Born. Like, no movie will ever compare to the way that I felt about that book, and I think part of it was because the shocking aspect of I didn't expect that movie to go the way it did, and to pull up my heart the way it did, and that's exactly what this did, just in book form, and I love this book so much. So, newest fictional crush, that's going to come to these two. So, I would say I have a fictional crush on the guy in this book, which is an appropriate fictional crush because he is an adult. But I also, now, it's hard when you read YA because as a 35-year-old woman to say, oh yeah, I have a crush on a high school kid. Yeah, no, I don't want to go to jail. But it's not so much that I have a crush on Vincent in this book now, but this is the guy that I would have dated in high school. And he would have been a better version probably of the guys I dated in high school. But he's in a band, he's like got, he's got stuff going on, he's smart, he's sweet, he's everything that a good girl like Addie needs, and I would have crushed on him if I was still a teenager. His favorite character, for that I would say Addie LaRue, because she's amazing and she is freaking badass. And this, I mean, she lived for 300 years through some really awful experiences, and she is one tough biatch. So I love her, want to be her. I mean, she's amazing. And I would say the 3 friends in The Boyfriend Project. I read this book. I loved this book. The main character is awesome, but her girlfriends are everything. Like, I wish her girlfriends were my friends. And I can't pick just one because you really need the mix of all. Like, her sister and then her 2 friends are both just, they're so perfect. I love them. Book that made you cry. This Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Like, this book freaking wrecked me, you guys. Like, it didn't just make me cry. It wrecked my heart, okay? That made you happy. Going back to The Boyfriend Project. I listened to this on audio, so going to read this book, it has to be on audio. I loved this story 100%, 5 out of 5 stars, and I was smiling from beginning to end. Alright, the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year. The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. This book is gorgeous. The covers, but look at, you can even see like the rose gold like foiling on this book. It is gorgeous. I just got this one. This is some new bookish mail I got last week. So, very excited. And what books do you need to read by the end of the year? This one was really hard because I had like 30 books that I wanted to pull off the shelf, but I tried to limit myself to just a few. So we've already covered that I need to read The Wife Upstairs and The Push, but I also want to read You Know It's Love, another amazing indie book. I read the first one in this kind of, again, it's a standalone series, but they go together if you want them to. Nice floppy cover, or floppy book, love it, and the character in this one is one from her other book, and I loved Kat, so really want to read this one. And this has been, I bought this one like last year, and it's been on my TBR every single month. I just need to actually read it. Alright, you guys, so that is it for all the books that I have read and want to read and my feelings so far. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not subscribed, please do. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video because it shows the YouTube algorithm that you would like to see more of my stuff and that it should share it with others. So, you know what to do, friends. Please go write some words and read a book, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!